Hello everybody, this is Danny, Deep South Homestead, on porch time today. You know, I was sitting around this last night thinking about, in bed, just sitting there thinking about what does porch time need to be about today, because you know, yesterday was a very solemn day for us here. It was a joyful day, but at the same time a very respectful day. We put up the video about Memorial Day and those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom. And at the same time, we had several YouTube subscribers come by yesterday, spent the day with us, visiting, had a really good time. As I sat and thought about these things, I was like, you know, what does porch time, where do we need to go with this on today's porch time? And as I sat there and thought about that, the thought occurred to me, what exactly have I learned from YouTube? You know, Wanda and I has been doing YouTube now a little over a year, and probably about a year and a half now, getting close to a year and a half. And we're always trying to teach people some things to help them with their homesteads. We're trying to help y'all. I mean, that's our desire, is to be a blessing to y'all by showing you what we do. Now, we don't necessarily say that what we do will work where you're at, but that's our primary goal, is to help educate y'all on some of the things that we have experiences with, and at the same time build a community of like-minded people. But on the other hand, what have we learned from YouTube? And as I sat and began to think about that, I come to the realization that I've learned an awful lot from YouTube this year. Because see, when we started YouTube in Deep South Homestead, we set some rules for ourselves right off the bat, because having been a business owner, I told Wanda in the beginning, I said there's some rules for business that we just need to keep in mind. One, never talk about politics, and secondly, never talk about religion. I mean, those are two things in a business that will kind of get you in trouble if you're not careful. And I told her, I said, when we start our YouTube channel, those are two things we're not going to do, because they're extremely controversial. And I said, we don't want the controversy. So we began to make videos, and after just a few videos, I realized real fast that there was a language there, because I profile everything when I'm a profiler. I look and I told Wanda, I said, I'm seeing here that these people are good religious people. They're godly people, a lot of them. And I told her, I said, maybe I need to test the waters. I said, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we should talk a little bit about religion on our channel and just see what happens. And you know, she's like, I don't know, Danny. She said, we might mess up right off the bat and screw everything up. I told her, I said, I have to do this. I said, you know who I am and you know how I am. I have to do this. So we began adding in little quotations here and there, some small remarks, religious remarks, and y'all responded positively. And I told Wanda, I was like, wow. I said, not everybody is bad. You know, the whole world hasn't gone crazy. There's still some good people out there. And the more we began to move in that direction, the better it got. Now, there's always going to be a few, you know, there's always going to be those few along the way that I don't know how you'd say it. They're just not meant to be in this group, I suppose. I don't know. But there's always going to be those people. And we know that. So we begin to constantly use some religious things in our videos, and you all responded tremendously positively good. And it lifted our hearts up. It brought joy to our hearts. And when we thought about it, and I told her, I said, you know, this is a good thing. This is a real good thing. So we've kind of started going with that theme. Even went to the point where we started a separate channel called All God's Children, which I haven't put many videos up on, just a lack of time mainly, making so many videos for this channel. I don't have a lot of time to make them for the other one, but when I do get a chance, I do it. And the Lord has blessed. And y'all have responded tremendously. But then, you know, we said we would never talk about politics, and we don't talk about politics much, but occasionally we'll mention a few things here and there, and we normally get positive responses from it. Occasionally, you know, like anything else, we get the negative responses. But that's been a learning experience for us. Y'all hear the rain frog in the background. The humidity is just unreal today. It's like 90%, and they're just crying for rain. But you know, those are two things right off the bat that we learned since we started doing YouTube, is that it's okay to talk about religion, and it's okay to talk about some politics, you know, because we don't push our religion or our beliefs on anybody. We mainly just state the facts of what we believe, and we leave it up to y'all, whether you like it or whether you don't like it, whether you accept it or whether you don't accept it. That's your freedom, and that's your right, and I respect that. I'm not going to be critical to you because you don't think the way I do, because a month from now I may not think the way I do. It all depends on what I've learned in that span of time. For a man to say he's reached to reach the height in his life to where he doesn't need to learn anything anymore, he's proven that he's just become a fool, you know, and he, of all people, needs to start learning. But you know, those are a couple of things we've learned about YouTube this year. We've learned that not everybody on YouTube is good people. Wanda and I have sat back and we have watched countless people try to undermine other people. We've watched people get jealous. We've watched people try to destroy other channels. The whole time, never taking sides with anybody, but just simply monitoring our own. I do run tests every now and then. I will go ahead and say this. I run different tests on my channel every now and then, and I don't say anything, because I try to search out those who, I call them troublemakers. The people who, they're not bad people. They just have a different way of looking at things than I do. And I've discovered through a lot of research how to figure out who these people are. And I do it by, and I'll go ahead and say it, I've been able to single them out, and without them knowing, by making certain comments that I knew would maybe bother them. And I watch my thumbs up and I watch my thumbs down. Well, when I make that comment that I know will bother certain people. And certain thumbs down, and I get lots of thumbs downs on a video that should have no thumbs down, but all because I made a couple of comments, it automatically tells me who did it. Because I can make a video right behind it about the same thing, and I don't make the certain comments in it that I make, and I don't get the thumbs down. So I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that not everybody out there is good people. And when I say good people, I mean they're okay. They just have a different way of looking at things than I do. And as a result, they try to be vindicative and give us thumbs down, which doesn't, I'm going to tell you, it does not bother me. And this video in particular, I'm going to make some comments in it that I know I'm going to get thumbs down on. Because I'm testing the waters. Because when I make these comments, these people know who they are. And as a result, it kind of, being a YouTube creator, it kind of helps me to realize who I should watch out for and who I should not watch out for. Because frankly, Wanda and I, I'll just be honest with y'all, Wanda and I actually have no quarrel with anybody. I mean, we love everybody. It's just that we know there are those out there that just like to stir up trouble. And doesn't mean we don't like them. It just means we've learned to steer in a different direction. And not to try to agitate the situation, but to just move on, because that's what God would have us to do, is not be a problem. I've learned on YouTube, there are lots of people out there that claim they're real good friends with other people, and yet they contact me and they tell me all of these things, and they send screenshots about all these things that other people are saying, and they show them to us. And yes, these people are saying these things because they're in private rooms and they're actually making these accusations. And I see them on the screenshots, but I'm not going to say anything. You know what I mean? Because that's their freedom. If they don't like somebody, that's their freedom. There's lots of people I don't like. I mean, I don't go around, I have, to date, I've only given one thumbs down. In a year and a half, I've only given one thumbs down on a video. I'm not going to tell what video it is, but I've only done one thumbs down in a year and a half. Because if I don't agree with you, I'm not going to badger you. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm going to thumb down you. Because to me, that's ridiculous. So if YouTube has taught me anything, it's taught me that there's a lot of people out there that wear their feelings on their shirt sleeves. And friends, that's not what YouTube should be about. I mean, we're here to help people that maybe have not walked the roads that we've walked, and to try to maybe keep them from making some of the same mistakes that we've made, and to teach the younger generation coming along. But what YouTube has taught me and showed me is that there's a lot of people out there that all they want to do is just yin-yang with one another. And I try to steer clear of that, because I don't want no part of it. Because it's not who I am. I do my videos for one reason, and for one reason only. Well, actually two reasons. One is to help people learn. Second is to leave a legacy for my children and my grandchildren, in case they need to know how to do something and I'm not around, and I've maybe passed away or something. And if YouTube is still going, they can say, well, I'm going to go back and look and see how my pawpaw done it, or my daddy done it, or whatever. So these are reasons why we do YouTube. We don't like drama. on our channel. We don't indulge in it. Like I said, lots of people send us lots of stuff that have lots of drama. Oh, Danny, did you know this person said this? Did you know this person done that? Look at the screenshot I took while I was in this room and all this kind of stuff. Here's a link to this room. I'm their best friend, but look, I don't tolerate what they're doing. So here's a link to the room. Go in this room and look and watch what they're doing. Look, y'all, I could care less. You know what? That's not who we are. We do what we do because we love to help people. You know, if these people do those things, that's their business. But that's one thing YouTube has taught me, that you can't trust everybody. You can't believe what everybody tells you, because I have people tell me one thing and then I watch screenshots of that same person making an exact opposite statement about me or someone else. And that's just wrong. And I don't want to be part of it. So, you know, YouTube will thicken your skin, or it will make you angry, because that stuff is out there, y'all. It's out there. There are those that do this kind of stuff, and it shouldn't be. Wanda and I do not do that. We do not go after channels to give them thumbs down, or to talk about them, or to disgrace them in any way. Because we treat people like we want to be treated. And that's not the way we want to be treated here. And YouTube has taught us that there are lots and lots of like-minded people out there. Because when Wanda and I started YouTube, like I said, we really didn't think there was any like-minded people around. But we've come quickly to realize, especially after going to the homesteading conference of the Appalachian one, that there are lots of people that feel just like we do. They are God-fearing, hard-working, honest, homesteading people who are trying to prepare for that what they don't know is coming. They're just doing the best that they know how with what they have. And we have met, I would not dare to say, since the Homestead Conference in Appalachia, over 1,000 people we've been in contact with about homesteading. You know, and that blesses our heart. Just like the subscribers that was at our house yesterday, all the subscribers that showed up. You know, we talked to them and we told them, you know, our goal was to be a blessing to y'all, but what you all do not realize is that you have been a tremendous blessing back to us, because we're seeing our dream come to fruition now. As a matter of fact, that's the exact words that I told these people. We have strived for 1.5 years to build a community of people that can locate and find people in their own areas and bring people together so that they can talk about like-minded homesteading things, realize that there's other people out there that believe the way they believe, and due to the heavy response that we're having here at Deep South Homestead, the number of people that we're meeting on a weekly basis, the number of people we're sharing time with, we're sitting down and having one-on-one chats with every week, because people are scheduling, you know, to come in and to meet with us. And, you know, this is just proof to us that our dream is coming to reality, because that's what we set out to do. We would love to be bigger than what we are, but we are where God wants us at right now. We are doing His work His way, and we're giving Him the glory for it. So YouTube has taught us that we're not alone. There's a lot of like-minded people in this country. At the Appalachian Homesteading Conference, there were over 1,000, or right at 1,000 people in that one room as I spoke. And I realized at that moment as I was speaking, wow, every state in the Union has been represented here. And they're all like-minded. So there are people in every state that feel the same way. And look, we had hundreds email us, private message us, and say, oh, I wanted to be at that conference so bad. Because it's the one conference I feel like I would have fit in at. And, that was a blessing to us to realize that even though there was 1,000 people at this one, there was even more that would have loved to have been there. And praise the Lord for that. Because it helped us to realize it's all coming together, people. It's all coming together. And we hear people talk about, this is another thing we've learned from YouTube. People talk about, oh, there's big channels and there's little channels. The big channels don't give a flip about anybody. They don't care about the little channels. That's not true. I'm tied in now with some of the biggest channels on YouTube. And I have private conversations with them over the phone, through Skype, different avenues. And I asked them, I said, people are saying this about the bigger channels. What is your take on this? And I'll tell you what I get most of the time. I would be willing to say 99.9% of the time, I'll tell you what I'm told. Danny, my channel is huge. There is absolutely no possible way I can get to all the comments. They're all great people. I go through, I try to catch the ones that I can. But with that many comments, they have to realize we have to live. We have to run a homestead. And they would look at me and say, Danny, you know how it is. You know how much time it takes to make videos. You know how much time it takes to work a homestead. There's projects that have to be done. There's gardening that's got to be done. There's errands that have to be ran. There's things that people order from us that have to be mailed off. It's a full-time business. And it's not that we don't care about people. It's just that there's just not enough hours in the day to take care of all the business we have to do. And that's what I get every time I talk to these huge channels. And, I don't classify myself as a big channel. I'm not that big. But I'm in with a lot of channels that are like 10 times the size of mine. And the fact that they spend time talking with me on my channel, and I feel like I'm a smaller channel, lets me know that they're honest and they're sincere. And I know a lot of people even say about us, that we don't help that many small channels, and we try to help as many as we can. We try to go to their channels, and we try to send people over to their channels. As a matter of fact, last night we did an online live chat with another YouTube channel, trying to be a blessing to those. Two Family Homestead. We did a face-to-face chat with them. We've been working back and forth quite some time now with different projects that we have going on with the computers and cameras and stuff like that. And Daryl and Sherry's been great with us, and we have no other, we love them, and we try to help as much as we can. We try to send people to their channel, but that's who we are. And so YouTube has taught us a lot of things. It's taught us that there's a lot of people out there that want to help. We never ask for anything. But yet there are lots of people out there who, out of just the goodness of their heart, want to help. And they send us messages, and how can we help in any way? We've had those that have helped missionaries that we know. We have those that have helped pay the way for other people to do things. They've sent money to help people with. We have people who've sent money for different projects that they want to see done. And we do these things because there are subscribers that want these things done, because they themselves want to know how we do those things. So, we receive blessings in that way, and we know that there are people out there that are just good-hearted people who just love everybody. Now, there's more good people out there we've found than there are bad people that we've had to deal with on YouTube. We're constantly blessed on a daily basis about how many good people we run into. Now, the quote-unquote celebrity factor part of it is something that's been a little bit hard for us to get used to because of our privateness of most of our lives. A lot of our serenity has been lost, but at the same time, we are meeting a lot of good people, and we love that. And we love y'all for taking time out of your days to spend it with us. So I just wanted to throw out there today a few things that we've learned on YouTube. Now, this is not all that we've learned. I may do a part 2 at some point. I don't know. But I just wanted to tell y'all, we set out to teach and to show people how to do certain things on our YouTube channel. But in return, we've learned a lot from y'all. And I think that the camaraderie back and forth between the two of us has been good. Because it's always good when the teacher learns. When a man says that he's too old to learn, he's just realized that he's actually at the point he needs to start learning. So I know today hadn't been a very big, giant porch time, but it's something that I've been thinking about for quite some time, and I wanted to put it out there, and I wanted to let y'all know that we learn from y'all just like you learn from us, and that's the way it should be. We don't come on with this approach of you got to do it our way, because we are smart enough to know that what we do don't work everywhere. So I hope that y'all enjoyed porch time today. I know it hadn't been up to norm, but nevertheless, it's something that I've been wanting to say for quite some time. So I want to tell y'all we love you and we appreciate you for sitting down and taking this opportunity to just chat with us, because to be honest with you, a lot of times I feel like I'm sitting here looking directly at you, because a lot of you tell me when you get up in the morning, I start my day off with you with a cup of coffee. I can't wait for porch time to start at 5 o'clock in the morning so I can sit with my cup of coffee before I go to work and listen and talk with you. And us knowing that you're sitting there with a cup of coffee in your hand, it's almost like I'm sitting here looking at you on my porch, having that conversation with you. And that's what makes this so comfortable for me to do, is because I know you're out there. I know you're wanting to talk, and I try to do it in a way in which I'm listening to you. I mean, what do you think about that? See, I waited for a response because I know when I ask that question, you're going to give me a response. And I want to keep this conversation between the two of us. So, thank you for sitting here with me today. on Porch Time, and I hope you've enjoyed it. We love all of y'all, and have a blessed rest of the week. Thank you from Deep South Homestead.